So I just posted my David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade video, and I felt it was only appropriate for me to make a video breaking down why David Benavidez defeats Demetrius Andrade. Now, first things first, this is a great fight. I'm really looking forward to it. I honestly feel it's one of the few fights left in 2023 that's genuinely worth watching and is genuinely competitive and good for the sport. So to start it off, I feel the first notable reason that David Benavidez wins this fight is work rate. David Benavidez has a tremendous work rate, one of the best work rates in the sport, in my opinion. He throws so many punches consistently throughout the fight, especially as the fight starts to warm up and starts to heat up. After the first few rounds, he really starts to take it into next gear. And even though Demetrius Andrade isn't a guy with a terrible work rate, his work rate has never been exceptional at all. It's never even been impressive, in my opinion. So I feel David Benavidez is going to comfortably start to outwork Demetrius Andrade at some point in this fight. And once he does, I feel he's going to completely take over and batter Andrade. Benavidez is a guy who, honestly, he throws, I'm going to give a random ballpark number, but I'm going to say at least 50 to 60 punches every round. Consistently. He consistently throws a bunch of punches, and Andrade is a low output guy. And I want to make it very clear, no matter what the outcome of this fight is, no matter what Demetrius Andrade does in this fight, one thing I'm very sure of is that he will not outwork David Benavidez. Even if Andrade is outclassing him and outboxing him and taking him to school, which I don't see happening, he's not going to outwork Benavidez. Benavidez is definitely going to throw more punches than him in this fight, and I feel that's one of his genuine strengths. I was at the Caleb Plant fight. It was such a great experience. I really had a great time. I honestly recommend all of you guys to at least go to one boxing event in your lifetime because it's really an interesting experience, really enjoyable. And in that fight, Caleb Plant looked really sharp early on, and he was outboxing Benavidez and up comfortably after 4 rounds. However, even after those 4 rounds where Plant was up very wide, there was not a single swing round in there. Benavidez was still outworking him. He was still throwing more punches and still more aggressive of the two fighters. I feel in this fight he's going to be much more aggressive than Demetrius Andrade, outwork him by a huge amount. I honestly feel it's going to help him a lot. Demetrius Andrade has never been a high output guy, as I've mentioned, even in his biggest victories, biggest wins, even against his easiest opponents. He's never been a guy who threw too many punches. And I feel in this fight, he's going to get heavily outworked, and that's going to be a big disadvantage for Andrade. The next reason is size. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to be thinking. They're going to say, Demetrius Andrade is the same height as Benavidez, or they're around the same height. I apologize, I didn't check the metrics. I know they're around the same height. However, height isn't fully size, guys. Benavidez is the bigger guy here. I think this is very clear. Benavidez is a huge guy for 168, and I feel he can easily fight at 175. The only reason he doesn't is because that Canelo fight is available at 168. Much higher money fight than a Beterbiev or a Bivol. Also, I believe a much lower risk fight than them as well. But this is a guy who can comfortably and probably be much, much healthier at 175, fighting at 168. This is a big guy for the 168 division. And we have to realize that Andrade moved up to 168 relatively recently. He's been a guy who fought at 154 and 160 throughout his career. He's pretty new at 168, and Benavidez is a big guy for 168. He's going to have a huge size advantage in that ring. And when you consider his pressure and his work rate, along with his size advantage as well, Demetrius Andrade really has his back against the wall in this one. I mean, he's a much bigger guy than Andrade. We're going to see it on fight night. He's going to probably outweigh Andrade by at least 15 to 20 pounds minimum. And with that power, with that size, he's going to have a huge advantage in that ring. Andrade's not going to be able to keep him off, especially because of that size advantage. You guys have to realize when a fighter is bigger, their chin is better because they have more size overall. They can take the shots better. And Andrade, who's not a puncher in general, is going to have a lot of issues keeping Benavidez off of him. Benavidez, a big guy. He's going to weigh a lot on fight night. I'm not saying he's a weight bull or anything. He makes the weight, right? He's a 168 pounder for a reason. He can make the weight. He's done it before. But he is a big, strong guy, and he's going to have a huge size advantage in that ring. I know, as I said before, they may not look too big of a size difference during these face-offs because of Andrade's size and his height, but Benavidez is definitely the bigger guy of the two. The next reason is inside fighting. David Benavidez is a very good inside fighter. He doesn't specialize on the inside. He's not a crafty inside fighter. He's not a guy who is known for his inside fighting like a Sean Porter, right? But his inside fighting is very effective and very devastating to his opponents. He's a guy who gets within close range, goes to the body, throws hooks and uppercuts upstairs, lands a barrage of shots within close range, gets his opponents on the ropes. And Demetrius Andrade, who has the longer reach, I'm pretty sure, and is known for his outside fighting and is much more comfortable on the outside. Once Benavidez gets within close, because I know he's going to eventually get within close range. I can't see Andrade keeping him at bay for 12 rounds. I really can't. Once he gets within close range, he's going to really batter Andrade, in my opinion. I think he's going to really take over this fight and be very comfortable. He's much more comfortable in close range than Demetrius Andrade is. Once he gets within that close range, he's going to take over this fight and have a huge advantage in it. As I said, I cannot see Andrade keeping him at bay for 12 rounds. It's virtually inevitable that Benavidez will get within close range, and once he does so, he's going to have a huge advantage, especially if his power, and as I mentioned previously, his size. This is a guy who's big and strong. Andrade's not going to be able to bully him within close range like he's done in the past with a lot of his smaller opponents. Inside game definitely goes to David Benavidez. He has a huge advantage on the inside, and I feel he's going to truly utilize it. Age. That's the fourth reason. Age. This is something that no one is really talking about, and people aren't really even that aware of, to be fair. I wasn't even that aware of it until I did some research on it. Do you guys know that Demetrius Andrade is 35 years old? He's 35, guys. He's not 32, 33. He's 35 years old. This is a guy who is basically on his way out. He's, honestly, for most fighters, Terrence Crawford's basically an anomaly, right? He's at the end of his physical prime, I'm pretty sure. And this isn't a guy like Triple G or Benavidez or Beterbiev who is so gifted when it comes to his power that he can get away with aging. You know what I mean? A lot of these fighters with a lot of power can get away with aging because their power will never go away. Demetrius Andrade's always been a guy that has relied on his reflexes, on his speed, on his twitchy muscle movements. He's a guy who relies on factors that do get affected with age. When you get older, you'll keep your power, you'll keep your ring IQ, which Demetrius Andrade does have a good amount of. You'll keep those, but you're not going to be able to keep the speed. You're not going to be able to keep the reflexes. You're not going to be able to have those as effectively. And that is honestly Demetrius Andrade's strongest points, is his reflexes, is his speed. Yes, his IQ as well. He's going to still have that, but his speed and his reflexes, they're not the same as they were, in my opinion. I mean, I would honestly say Demetrius Andrade has been on the decline for much longer than people realize, but it's been a very subtle decline. It hasn't been a big, noticeable decline. But I feel his best performance was against Willie Nelson. When was that? 2016? He looked tremendous in that fight. That was a great performance. A really, really good performance from Demetrius Andrade. Does not get enough credit because Willie Nelson was a good fighter. He was coming off that Tony Harrison win. The fight was at 154 as well, so it's not like Willie Nelson was brought up in weight. He dismantled and stopped him late. It was a great performance from Demetrius Andrade. Looked really, really good, right? But Demetrius Andrade has not looked anywhere near that good as of late, first of all. And second of all, that was like, what, 7 years ago? That was a long time ago. You look at his recent outings, his last fight against Desmond Nicholson, he looked terrible, guys. He looked really bad in that fight. When you look at that fight overall, first of all, he got dropped. It wasn't ruled a knockdown, but he got dropped against Desmond Nicholson. Second of all, once he got up and took over and won a wide decision, it was a very uneventful win against a very flat and unimpressive opponent. No offense to Nicholson, because he always does come to fight. He's not trash, I'll say. He's not even close to world level, though. Not even close to world level. Benavidez would have stopped him in 3 rounds. I think Benavidez may have even stopped him. I don't know if that fight happened or not, but I know Benavidez would take him out in a couple rounds if they did fight. And Andrade did not look very good at all, and I feel he's been on the decline. And what's even scarier for Demetrius Andrade is Benavidez is 26 years old. He's not 28, he's not 29, he's 26. This guy is getting better and better and better. He's much younger than you would expect when you look at how good of a fighter he is and how dominant he's been in many of his fights. This is a guy who's gotten better with time and is really starting to enter his physical prime. This is a guy who still technically hasn't even reached his physical prime, which is kind of scary to think about. He's 26 years old. He's getting better and better and stronger and closer to his physical prime, while Demetrius Andrade is 35 and he's out the door. So age is a very underrated factor in this fight, and I think it needs more consideration. And the final reason is gas tank. David Benavidez, in my opinion, has one of the best gas tanks in the sport, bar none. The fighters that he's on par with are Vasyl Lomachenko, Alexander Usyk, Jose Ramirez. He has that type of gas tank. It's tremendous. He can go for 12 rounds like it's nothing. He would have strived in the 15-round era. I really believe so. And it's not that Demetrius Andrade has a bad gas tank. Honestly, it's probably on the contrary. I think Andrade has a pretty solid gas tank, better than average. But it does not compete with Benavidez's, especially Benavidez's fight style. He has such a brutal fight style for his opponent, such a relentless and ruthless fight style. He's going to keep coming forward, keep pressuring, and keep throwing punches. I feel he's going to eventually make Demetrius Andrade fold due to that great gas tank and due to that great cardio. I mean, this guy has such great endurance and such great stamina, and I see him taking Demetrius Andrade out in the later rounds due to that. This video is already basically 10 minutes long. I feel like I've given you guys enough of reasoning. Those are my exact reasons for picking David Benavidez to defeat Demetrius Andrade. Quick little recap. First reason, work rate. He's going to outwork Demetrius Andrade. for sure, no matter what the outcome is, he's going to throw more punches. Second of all, size. Once he gets within close, he's going to have that size and strength advantage. He's going to be very comfortable. Third reason, inside fighting. It's inevitable he's going to get within close range due to Andrade not having the power to keep him off of him. And due to that fact, he's going to get within close and really batter Demetrius Andrade. Fourth reason, age. He's 26. Andrade's 35. And Andrade's not a regular 35 due to the fact that he relies on his speed and his reflexes. Those are the fighters that age worse than someone like Benavidez who relies on power and strength. As well as Benavidez is only 26, which is pretty surprising. And the final reason, gas tank. Benavidez has a phenomenal gas tank, and when you add all those other factors, him having such a great gas tank makes him much scarier for Andrade. Thank you guys for watching. Tell me about the comment section below. Tell me your predictions. I'm truly interested. If you made it all the way here, I truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good one, guys. God bless. I'll see you guys later. Peace.